For the next topic, we are continuing a little bit of real-world discussion with at Hesse, discussing staking 2.0, verified compute, and the rise of real cash flows. Give it up for him. Woo!
Thanks for having me. You hear me? Does it work? Yes. This is the second time I'm presenting on a crypto stage. So usually it's the energy market where I'm talking. So Energy Web was born in 2017 after several years of research we actually did together with Ethereum founders. And what we actually now, globally, our software is being used by grid operators in California for alarms, triggering price signals. It's used in Uruguay for certificate tracking. And we actually have the whole energy market in Australia where Energy Web is used as a backbone. So Energy Web was born as a consortium of over 250 largest companies in the world. And what we focus on in the last 8 years is bringing the market to Web3, not the other way around, technology and then to the market. That we can actually combine those two worlds. So let me tell you what we do. So the problem we're trying to solve is trust and coordination. If you look at markets, there is something very paradox happening in the markets. The markets are booming in decarbonization, but there is mistrust is as its peak. 94% of investors don't believe any ESG reports. It's the same on the grid side. The renewable market is exploding, is decentralizing. The grid can't handle it anymore. And so the first thing we solve is trust, and with the same tools how we solve trust, we also solve the coordination problems. So if you want to solve trust, you have to look how is trust created today, and it's created through assurance tools. Now, if you look at all these assurance tools, you can compare them between those metrics. How long does it take to come to truth? How much does it cost? And how much data is actually being checked? So if you look at classical audit, you would do it once per year. Then they take sample data, and it takes them a month to finalize the audit. And so, and that is not enough. These assurance tools are not enough if you want to run a whole energy market in real time. And so what we actually invented, or kind of we brought into the market, as you know this word very well, in the energy markets, this word is not used a lot, it's called verified compute. Verified compute, in our sense, the way we do it is a bit different. It's verifying data and logic as it happens. And so once you implement that into institutions for specific compliance-relevant data, you collapse the whole formula of all assurance tools. Everything becomes real-time, the cost is dropping dramatically, and you have all data verified. Now, the thing is, how does it feel, verified compute? You all know how it feels, because the first feeling you had of verified compute in crypto is going into an Explorer, putting your address inside and seeing what happened on your address. In the energy world, this is novel, okay? It took 8 years to come to this. So the result of verified compute in energy markets is actually, now you can see, you can literally explore all compliance relevant data in a specific corporation, like you do it on Etherscan, with the one difference, which is privacy. You can decide yourself with who to share that data, is it public data or not. The interesting thing is, once you enable that, that enables a complete new plethora of new business models. So this is an example in the clean fuel in aviation markets. So one of the book and claim systems is actually there is 5 book and claim registries in the aviation sector. 4 of them are running on our tech. And so you will probably see this in approximately half to 3/4 of a year. The first ESG reports coming out, now they're all PDFs. And very soon, there will be actually PDFs with links. So where a corporate like Microsoft will say, we bought these certificates to offset that. There will be a link. You click on the link, you come into the Explorer, you see in which aggregator this certificate was bought. you see which airlines use the fuel, and then you go deeper, you see which fuel is actually used in that certificate. So it opens the whole supply chain, and that is a real game changer in the whole industry. I know in crypto it sounds simple because we know it from looking into the blockchain, but here it's completely transforming the market. Now, how does it work? So think of a corporation, any corporation in the energy markets. So we build plugins to extract logic and data, and that logic and data is being put into off-chain compute where you have multiple nodes, they operate the same logic and data, and they have stake, and they find consensus on the chain, and they validate what is happening there in real time, and that comes out in regularized data that you can browse now, and then you can define is it public or private. It's fairly simple actually, right? Now the thing is, we are now in a few weeks, we're releasing the first version where we finally deploy this end-to-end, where corporates can now deploy verified compute like they deploy Amazon Web Services. And they actually pay this with US dollars. So they don't even know there is crypto behind it. They receive an invoice, they pay in US dollars, it arrives in USDC and goes as rewards to the compute providers and to the stakers. On the other side, we have our ecosystem. It's all open source actually. And we have stakers, operators of compute, and a browser. So that was a simple application. But if you think a step further, that's how we solve trust. But taking that off-chain compute, the verified compute, and stacking it on top of each other through different applications, you actually solve a coordination problem. So this is an example how actually the Australian energy market operates right now. So this works already right now. So you have 4 rule makers in Australia. You have the regulator, market operator, transmission system operator, and the distribution system operator. They all create rules. So before the system, if you wanted to become a market participant, you had to abide by their rules, but their rules were written on PDFs. And so you had to build your own internal software to comply with these guys, these guys, these guys, and these guys. And so the systematic cost of that was fairly high. Now, how we have changed that, they have a gateway. They write the rules in code instead of on PDF. And so the most important one is where the identity and data access is managed. And so that is verified compute. There is nodes who operate that. Actually, the nodes who operate that is themselves. And there is stake as well. And so every market participant now, instead of building their internal software, they just download the gateway, and that is their compliance. And so they being allowed to access the markets through this, and then they abide by the rules. So there are 7 different markets: spot, futures, balancing markets, and so forth. And so now that is quite a revolution. After we published this approximately 1.5 years ago, we were testing verified compute, not full end-to-end. It was a very protected environment. It took actually 5 years to deploy this in Australia. But once the Australian energy market operator published it, we have incredible demand for this solution all around the globe. Costa Rica, from California, from Canada, Malaysia, from really a lot of countries. And so that's why 8 years working this consortium that we can close. That's why I'm coming to this conference to talk to a lot of staking companies, because we need your help. And so in a few weeks, we launched the whole cycle, an end-to-end solution for safe aviation. And then in a cycle of few weeks, there is more and more application coming live. The biggest book and claim system registry in maritime sector, a few more energy markets. So we need staking providers. And so we have a token as well. We have an open network, proof of stake network, and we're releasing new, so we're adding the token into the system. The way there is dual staking is you stake on the chain, you restake that position into a solution, and thereby you contribute to the security, and the rewards is being paid by the corporates actually in USDC. So that's why I'm here we're looking for partners, and we're looking for partners at all ends. We came from demand side. We have a lot of demand for verified compute, which we have finally brought to the market. So all these companies are working with us in the consortium. So if you here and you find yourself somewhere here, and I guess staking compute operators, this is kind of the market here, please call me. Thank you very much.